All right, we are live. Welcome back. Oh, feels good to be back. Not to wrestle with this thing. What's going on? Welcome back to the live stream today. Oh my goodness, what are we going to talk about today? A few things actually. So first of all, how you been? It's been a long time. It's been like a week and a half or so, something like that, since I've streamed. Man, I really need to figure out how to do this stuff on the road. But anyways, we'll get to that. So yes, welcome back to the stream. This is episode 76, where we are trying to figure out how to build a company that is going to generate $1 million in revenue every single year. That is our goal. That is our objective. I mean, money isn't really the goal. I mean, I would say probably the goal is a sense of purpose and a sense of happiness in, the day-to-day life. But I do know, what's that saying? Money doesn't buy happiness. But the people just don't know where to spend their money. Money it's just one of those things where it opens up a whole lot of freedoms and opportunity. So whether it's not the end all be all, like the point isn't to make money, but it's a good metric to have anyways, and good for these videos or whatever. So and it kind of makes sense. So yeah, so that's what that is. So that's our goal. That's what we're aiming for. And today we're going to do two things actually. I'll probably edit the description. Number one, we're going to start planning out a little bit more of the podcast and what we're going to do with the podcast, because I've been talking about it and thinking about it for the past week and a half, and it's really the direction that I want to go in. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we'll take to the podcast, and we're going to get started with all our planning and how we're going to kind of run things. And do I need to lower this? I can lower it a little bit. I had to take all my gear, well, most of my gear, and I had to set everything back up. So I'm not sure how good we're looking here and sounding. It seems to be sounding okay. So what was I saying? Something about, we're going to be talking about the podcast. But the first thing I want to talk about, and I haven't made note of this, is to do basically an after action report of the conference, which I attended. Well, I didn't so much attend a conference, but I was hired on to do AV work. So mostly video production, as well as maybe do a little bit of photography, but really primarily just paid to do some videos. So I think it's a good idea, since I just got back, to just summarize how things went, the pros, the cons, things I would change to do better, and so basically how I could do better as a company moving forward the next time I'm asked to do something like this. So I think it's a really good idea to figure out, just jot everything, especially while it's fresh in my mind. So basically, I'll give an overview of how the conference went, or how things were like. Let me just open up a Word document here. I could open up, because we're going to take some notes here. So that's the podcast, but let's create a blank one. So, and maybe what would be a good idea is if I can I show a little bit of the quote of what I was going to do. And it kind of shows some information here that I'm not too comfortable showing. So maybe I'll just talk about it. So I'll talk about what the deliverables are. Very simple. So number one is to create a 2-minute overview of the organization. So create an organizational video. Basically, I don't know. Just I'm trying to think of if there's like an example that I can give. So we're talking a 2-minute video, and it's really to talk about the organization, how they initially formed, where they are now, highlighting their successes, and then where they see themselves in the future, and just kind of filled with key interviews with specific people, as well as some, overlay some B-roll and some nice music, inspirational music, all that kind of stuff, right? So kind of like your corporate intro to an organization type video. So that was the first thing. And the second thing was to create a bunch of short 60-second to 120-second interview style videos of individual people to profile the work that those individuals were doing and to bring it all together into a cohesive unit. So like a same introduction and have a nice logo introduction, logo sting for all the different videos. And then also be able to chop up little pieces of content into like little 10-second, 15-second, whatever, 30-second, like TikTok, Instagram, whatever, Twitter type video materials. So that was basically what I went out to do. And the basic premise for how I was going to, how things were going to work. So I'll back up and I'll say that it was a 3-day conference, 3 full days. I got there a day early to be able to set up. And during the conference, I had a little tablet. Not a little tablet. I just had a tablet where people can sign up using Calendly to be able to book a time for them to go to an interview. So they go to register for the conference and there's a booth set up and they could go ahead and register for a 30-minute time slot to have an interview with me. So these were all like interview style, like filming, where I had a 2-camera setup, a lavalier mic, and 2 chairs, a backdrop, lighting, all in kind of a contained room. So yeah, that's kind of how the day went. And when I wasn't busy shooting any kind of interviews, I tried to take my camera and go about and take some B-roll background footage, and then also some just photos for to be used on the website and stuff like that. So that's what I did. That's what I was contracted out to do. So I got all the footage, and now it's coming back home to actually do the editing and do all that work. But before I get to doing all that stuff, because that's going to take me a little while to do, I think it's going to be a really good idea to talk about what worked, what didn't work, and how I could do things better for the next time, basically. So let's after action report, St. John's researchers workshop, and that was May. Oh, what day was it? May 24 for 26 2023. Okay, so maybe we could talk about what went well, what went not so well. I've never done one of these before, so I'm not sure exactly if there's a specific way to them or not, but this is just what makes sense to me right now. What opportunities for next time? Right. Okay. So I need some music. That's all I'm hearing is the hum of my speakers or my microphone. Okay. So let's give a quick summary. Pixel was hired to perform a dozen researchers to learn about the work they have done, what impact it has on our communities slash, I guess you could say society. And to showcase the work supported by the organization. We also, Quixel also was tasked with creating a 2-minute organizational explainer video with the storyboarding to be done or slash provided by the company. So so when I was hired out to do this video, I had initially quoted that my company would lead the way in terms of creating a storyboard for this and work with them to approve the storyboard, approve what it is that we wanted to showcase in this video. So that way, when we got there, we can actually make sure to get all the shots that we needed. So that was how that's what I wanted to do. However, it came back that they didn't want to do that. They wanted to provide the storyboard and they were to provide it to me. So we can say something right now of what went not so well is, so the company did not provide a storyboard for the, I'll just say main, like corporate video. So that was a big problem because, so it was a problem because not knowing what it is exactly you wanted this video to say and to do, it was difficult understanding what types of questions to ask the people that were going to be involved in that video to tease out the right parts of the story. So difficult to interview key actors, for lack of a better word, because we didn't know what pieces of information were needed to tell the correct story. Also, 2 of the 4 main actors were not present or able to interview. So the project is delayed and new interviews need to be scheduled. Okay, so let's do a little bit more on the positive things. And at the end of the day, this kind of stuff, like in terms of what went not so well, not having the people there and having to reschedule, I mean, that's just going to cost the client more money because it's not like we're just going to be able to do that for free, right? We were paid to do a certain job at that certain place. And if we have to go back and do reshoots or whatever, I mean, that blows the budget, right? So it's not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. But, obviously it would be nice to get the work done all in at once, just to save the client money, right? And not spend money needlessly. So I hate wasting money, and I hate wasting clients' money, especially. Well, I mean, I hate wasting my money too. Let's be real here. Okay, so what went well? The interviews were a lot of fun, and they got all kinds of positive feedback. So interviews went really well and received lots of positive feedback from those that were, let's say, hesitant to be in front of the camera. Okay. And I could always say something that went not so well. I mean, it wasn't so much on my end, I don't think, but it's something that I could be aware of whenever I'm dealing with other clients who want to do the same thing. So there was hesitation to get in front of the camera because people weren't sure exactly what the purpose was. So, and I think it just wasn't clear, and maybe something that I could even articulate on my website or where people are signing up for their interviews, is to know that it's not like a journalist. It's not like I was trying to trap anybody or anything like that. It was really a very laid back, casual conversation being recorded to just understand and showcase the cool work that people were doing. So I could say some people were hesitant about the purpose of filming, and were worried it was more journalist style, like confrontational, rather than conversational. And so I think the idea here is my room was called the media room, and that could be a negative connotation, potentially. Right. Yeah. Oh, what else didn't go so well? Used a third party to provide the backgrounds for the set, which removed a lot of control / flexibility in designing what's the location, I guess you can say. So interviews went really, really well. I could say, yeah. Preparing quality interview questions beforehand helped when dealing with more difficult, that's not the right word, more difficult subject material slash nervous participants. And that's more of a me thing. So what I'm saying with this is we had a list. We had meetings before to kind of talk about what we wanted to get out from each specific person that was going to be in front of the camera that we're going to interview. And so we had a list of questions to kind of help frame and guide the conversation. And when I'm talking about difficult subject material is when sometimes when people get in front of the camera, they can get nervous. And when they get nervous, they kind of tend to ramble. So you'd ask them a question and they start talking, and some people would just go off and start talking about all kinds of different things, which is good because you kind of let people talk, so you can kind of tease out some of that information that you're going to be able to cut into a really great soundbite. But sometimes when people start going off and trailing off, it's a little bit difficult to help navigate back into the right path. So it was good being prepared. And one thing that was really fun and something that's going to require a lot of practice is, I should even put it here. And I think this is what the podcast is going to be a really good thing. So I'm going to kind of start typing this. Having a podcast will be really great to practice. Like, you really have to listen to the person and listen to what they're saying. And I tried really hard to listen to what they're saying, paraphrase it, and get them to kind of agree and maybe spot off a little bit of something to give a really good, short, concise statement. They'd go off, they'd be talking about something for 2 minutes, and you let them talk. And I say, it sounds like what you're saying is that, whatever activity was really valuable in making a connection with the community, as an example. They'd be like, that's exactly right. Being able to do blah, blah, blah was super helpful in being able to connect with XYZ. And then they would kind of summarize it again. So being able to listen and being able to report back to what the other person is saying and summarize gets them to, number one, understand, gets them a little bit more comfortable, because they're like, yes, you're actually listening. I'm actually being heard. And it's not just asking a question, they answer, move on to the next one without any consideration of what they're saying. Really having a conversation back and forth. So that takes a lot of practice, and it was easier than others depending on the topic, because some of the topics I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, in the sense of I don't really understand that research area, right? So being able to practice is going to be a good thing. So it's opportunity for next time. I mean, it's just making sure that you're prepared if you're interviewing people, exactly like the types of questions you want, how you foresee, like you want to make sure that you're going to know what generally you're going to want them to say and help steer them in that direction. But really kind of flowing with the conversation, right? Making sure that you're kind of bouncing off the individual as well. I really practice listening to a person tell their story. Right? To practice listening to a person tell their story and be able to feed off what they are saying to expand the conversation and get better sound bites, I guess you can say. Yeah, I think that's good. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Okay. So, how long have we been? We're 24 minutes. Okay. So interviews went well. Preparing the questions was really well. We got compliments from our setup. People saying they weren't expecting something so professional. So that's good, because people saw, the tripods, the cameras, the lights, are like, oh my goodness, didn't know it was gonna be so much. And so that's always good. I think that's a positive thing for the company. Professional. We're ready to do the work. Ready to do high quality work. That's always good. Interviews went really well. What else could I say went really well? Sometimes it's easy to focus on things that went not so well or things that went bad. But it's also important to know what went really well too. So I could say, I don't know if I want to put this on what went not so well, but I'm going to put this in opportunities for next time. So this is an oversight. Not so much of an oversight. I kind of knew this going in. I knew there was things that I wanted to do, but I just didn't have the time. But I probably should have prioritized it. So I had no marketing presence. And what I mean by that is, so I had the opportunity to create my own booth area with materials, think business cards, brochures, etc., but had nothing. So again, think, business cards, pamphlets. I'll just call it flyers. So flyers. What else? Just like a like a pop-up banner. Like one of those things that you roll up and just a pop-up banner, I guess is what it's called. A floor banner, maybe, whatever. My own booth had nothing. Business cards, flyers, pop-up banner. And I mean, you could even have a TV with promotional video playing in background. Or just, or rotating images, like a PowerPoint presentation. Right, so it was just it was a really big missed opportunity. And also like branded clothing and what I was wearing. No t-shirts with logos or anything like that, right? So missed opportunity, but it's also because I'm still trying to figure out Pixel. Still trying to figure out what the niche is going to be. There's all kinds of things to still figure out. So that's why I didn't spend any time on this. But even just having something like the business cards, which I remember working on like a month ago. I did it on a stream here, and I think I finalized it, but I just didn't print them out and have them in. So just missed opportunity. So but I was able to talk to people. I got some of their cards, so I could reach out to them. So not a total loss, but a huge opportunity missed. So if you're ever going to go out and you're going to go do some shooting or whatever, always have these materials with you, because people are going to ask. People are going to ask and be like, hey, what's this all about? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Especially if you're at a conference. Great time to be able to give them, to get that introductory, material, I guess you can say. So the interviews went preparing. Not so well. Okay, here's another. So this is hard to gauge. Lighting inside like hotel conference areas are horrible. And need to So they're horrible. So they flicker. They're not very bright. So it's like kind of a lower light situation. So it makes the photos difficult to edit. So there needs to be learning how to deal with bad lighting situations to get best possible in camera shot, because having to do a lot of post-processing it just takes too much time. Well, I mean, it's going to take as long as it's going to take, but if you can do something in an hour versus doing something in 10 hours, I would rather do things in 1 hour, right? So get the right shooting. And that's just me with a lack of experience shooting in those types of situations. That's all there is to it. So yeah, that went not so well. The lighting was bad. They had the backgrounds. Yeah, the opportunities for next time. I don't know if this is because it's part of the what went not so well. You know, so I want to have my own like background materials, such as just like cloth backgrounds, plants, what, like, etc. Make sure storyboard is set before going on location. And it's something where it's just gotta say, like, there's not going to be any shooting. Like, if I'm working with a client, just make sure this is figured out beforehand. Or don't work with a client if they're just going to say they're going to do storyboard, and if they don't, like, I don't know, it's difficult. It's difficult to say how to handle the situation. If a client says they're going to say, I'll provide it, but then they don't, it's a tough situation. But yeah, again, not the end of the world, because it ends up, like I said, just ends up costing the client more money for reshoots and all that kind of stuff, because we didn't quite get what we needed, what we wanted. That's the problem there. So interview went really well. The setup was nice. The people were fantastic. All right, another opportunities for next time. Take photos and then during the day, and then display them on monitor, or we could say like the projector. If you're at a conference, there's like multiple big huge screens run by the tech table or what have you. You take a bunch of photos during the day or during morning, whatever it is, edit them quick, or just have them on JPEGs, whatever the case may be, and then put them on a slideshow from a slideshow. And then people can see them. And I think I've done that before, a couple of years ago now. Actually, it was before the pandemic, and at another conference, and it was fantastic. People loved it because, like, hey, that's me, or whatever, right? So you're just looking at the pictures that are rolling, right? So it's pretty cool. And then you could put like a watermark or something, like, hey, pick photos provided by whatever, right? So it's like, create a branded slide deck to insert images, whether it's a slide deck or it could be like a like an After Effects or DaVinci Resolve, like a video. So you just upload a bunch of videos and you just insert them in, and then there's like pre-made like transitions or what have you. So that could be something. So that's an opportunity. Yeah, so the people were really nice. Yeah, everything went smoothly. Let's say, like the registration process, Calendly to calendar, went well. I should say, it was smooth. Or should I do this like an arrow? Oh, that's so ugly. There's got to be an arrow sign. Let's see. Alt. Codes for arrow. Alt 26. There we go. Something like that. Smooth. But I would say slight issue with time zones when viewing on computer. But that's for me. My computer was in a different time zone than the actual, like where I was. So there was some communication issues where got our wires crossed for when the actual interview was going to take place. Registration process, yeah. The interviews were good. I guess we're going to see how the editing is going to work out and how that's going to turn out. If all the footage is garbage, it's going to be like, oh no, maybe it didn't go so well, but I'm pretty sure things are going to turn out okay. Yeah. I think this is good. We'll leave this here for now, because I think that's a pretty good report. Yeah, there might be a few things I could tease out, but it's pretty good. Provide your own backgrounds. Make sure you're ready for marketing. Make sure everything is set up and you have a storyboard. You know exactly what it is that you need to shoot on the day of. Make sure you're ready and prepared for that. Make sure that you're explaining what it is that you're going to do so people can come in prepared. Having people being able to be better prepared themselves is an important thing. Try to be able to control the lighting. Make sure you're obviously for video, that's pretty easy to do. Photography, not so much, unless you're shooting flash, but it's not really a good idea at a conference. Yeah, and then marketing, just make sure you're ready for marketing. Yeah. Yeah, and it's always good to make sure you're prepping for the interviews, have lots of questions ready, have some backup questions ready as well too. And always make the process as seamless for the end user as possible. In this case, the way that the registration went, for them to be able to register, whether it was beforehand or to do it right there when they're registering for the content, like when registration was happening, people check in or whatever, they get their name tag or badges or what have you. Then the laptop was just there, or the tablet, so that they can go ahead and sign up and register, and they got their emails and everything. So keep that up. That went really well. So yeah, so let's save this. It's gonna say after action report. Researchers Workshop. There we go. Okay. So that was that. And I think what we're going to do now, let's move into what I actually called this this video today, talking about our podcast. All right, so actually maybe the best thing to bring this up would be on a browser. Okay. So we can close that. How much? Because whoa, what happened there? No, I don't want that. Okay. Okay, so let me share this page again. So I need to think. Oh, sorry, my face is going to be blocking some of these things here. Maybe we'll switch it. Maybe you go on this side, and you go on this side. Right. Okay. So if you remember, I think it was our last or second to last video. I don't know what yet. I can't remember now. Which one was it? Anyways, doesn't matter. We talked about our podcast, and we kind of set up this Asana to be able to track our progress and to figure out what it is we want to do. And we have this one task here is decide how we want to set up our podcast room. And that was supposed to be May 22nd, which was like the day, like before the day after that I left home to go to the conference. So it didn't get done, but we can do it now. So, and I think I know, and I need to draw something somewhere. So are we going to do a Photoshop thing? I think we are. I think that's going to make the most sense. Get my... Yeah, we'll do a little bit of drawing, and none of the stuff that we're going to do is going to be to scale, but it's okay. All right, we'll let that load up here for a second. Oh my goodness. Oh, lots of new AI stuff in Photoshop. Crazy. Okay. We need a new file. Oh, I don't know what size to make this thing. Sure. Okay. So, just reset these colors. And I gotta turn this on. Is this on? Oh, there we go. Okay. So let's get the layout of my office. I think we've already done this. I'm trying to think. How is my office? I got that stupid corner thing. So we have basically oh, right, okay. That's that wall. And then this wall comes here. And then there's our door and that little bit of a bump. Right, but it's more like, yeah, it's more this way. No, it comes out that way. Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at drawing this. I think this is the right way. So this is looking right back here. There's right here is the door, which you can see, and then right where this plant is, there's this little thing that sticks out onto the back wall here. So, right. So here's the door. This is like a window, like for like architecture or whatever, but that's okay. So this is our base. I should have made a new layer for that one. So that's the room. Okay. So, and if you look at right now, well, how can we put this? You know what? This is wrong. This is wrong. You know what? How can we do this? Okay. I'm going to bring up, I think I can bring up the architectural like layouts of this place. Halifax, Nova Scotia. Speaking of Halifax, if there's anybody's watching that's been affected by the fires here, hopefully everything's doing okay and everything's all right. It's crazy. It's always interesting. It's not interesting at all, but when you hear things, forest fires or whatever, you always like, it always seems so distant or far away. And for us, where we're located, we are like just down, like the fire's like just down this, not the street, but like the neighborhood. We're just outside of the emergency zone ourselves. So it's very, very close. We can see the smoke out right out the front door. So it's crazy scary. So hopefully everyone's okay. I was thinking about everyone that's close. So Halifax, right. So we want to go, let me look at, yeah, I just want to see. Floor plans. Okay. So let's get back to here. Right. Okay. Here's what. Oh, maybe I did have it right. No, I had it opposite. Okay. So this is what we want. Okay. Let's zoom in here. And let's grab a screenshot. Okay. Okay. So this is essentially our room. So what we're going to do, let's just make this, no rounded corners. And let's give this a stroke, I guess. I don't know, 5 pixels. And what about another one here? I guess I can put in the door. Like a doorway thing, a bobber. And maybe we'll just fill that with white. And so if we hide this, okay, so here's, excuse me. Ugh. Am I pressing the wrong Shift G? No, that's not what I wanted. Put that stuff in a group and let's create a new layer. Okay, so I just want to show, I'll just illustrate how we are now. So right now, so we're looking at the door. Okay, so right now, that's not going to work. You're using white. Oh my goodness, this is so bad. So right now, this is my desk. And then we have the light source here. And so this is, oh my goodness. That's me right there. And yeah, so, and what you're looking at, the camera is facing here, and then this is the door right over here, and then here's the plant. Oh, here's my picture of a leaf. Oh, this is horrible. Anyways, that's the plant. And then, you know, have the bookshelf over here. So that's the room. So there's a lot of space, and like right now, there's kind of a, like there's a, here's the piano. There's my very quick and poor rendition of a piano. And yeah, right now there's just this kind of giant 4x4 table, like a bar table in the middle here. So don't need to show that. So this is the space we have. So this is just to give you context of what it is that you're looking at in this office. So the options of kind of what I was thinking in my mind was, did I put any details? Right. Table setup or comfy chair and couch setup. But also the problem, or the other thinking with this, is where do I set up my desk, right? Because I have my desk here, and then I was thinking, okay, well, what if I decide to set up like, you know, a 2-chair setup over here, over like a coffee table, maybe. And then I have my desk here. So there'd be room for that. But the problem that I find is that the room is just too busy. And I really want to have like a cozy and a comfy and a welcoming environment. And my desk is it's just messy. And even when it's clean, it's messy because there's just so many things. I mean, I got my speakers, I have my cameras and the lights kind of set up, and I got, the overhead camera, all kinds of cables from the computer. There's just lots of stuff that's running that I find is just, I don't know, it just wouldn't make the nicest environment for somebody to come in and do an interview, right? Oh, excuse me. So, and if I'm also thinking, well, I mean, if I go back to this image here, like it's 14 by 8 in terms of feet, right? So it's just not a lot of space. I just don't want people to feel overwhelmed. I want a nice, relaxing, comfy environment for people to be in. So that's what I'm looking for. So I don't think this will provide. So what I was thinking is, number one, removing my office from this den and having to put my office somewhere else. Office will have to go. Oh, I don't know where it's going to go. But if I look at my floor plan, can we rotate this thing? If I look at my floor plan, I mean, we have the master bedroom. We have our bed here, and then we have all kinds of, here's our workout equipment. It's kind of all here. The living room is pretty big. We got a computer area here in the dining room for the kids and for homeschool. I mean, these are the kids' rooms. So, I mean, there could be space in the living room to put my desk, depending on how we organize the living room. Could be space in this bedroom. I hate walls that are not 90 degrees. Oh, it drives me insane. But there's probably something really cool that I could do with this. But I'm by no stretch of the imagination an interior designer, so I wouldn't even know where to begin. But there could be room in here to do something, to put my desk, which is where I would do my live streaming. Probably. The reason I say that is because, let's go back to Photoshop. Because here's what I'm thinking. So let's just get a new thing out here so we can get to drawing and kind of planning things out. So I'm thinking you can have a table. Oh my goodness. Again, with the drawing, this is okay. That's as straight as the line is going to get. So I have a table here that is capable of sitting up to 4 people. And I also, now where do I want to put this? So, I'd also like to have a TV set up somewhere so I can have remote conversations with people that are not, in studio, right? Because there's a lot of people that I would like to talk to that aren't local, and let's be real, they're not going to be flying out to come on my show, at least not yet, anyways. So either have a TV here or a TV here. But also the idea of having a TV is so that when you're talking with people, you can say hey, have you seen this thing? And just kind of show a clip or whatever and just have it there so they can see. So here would make more sense because people don't have to turn around. If someone was sitting here, I have to turn around and look at this TV, right? Which would be kind of crazy. But the problem with this, if the TV's here, if I'm speaking with somebody, having like an interview, I would want the TV here so I could sit here, so straight off. I don't want to be off an angle with somebody, right? So that's something to think about. But the general idea, a table here, but I also, I'm not sure exactly how I would fit the chairs. But again, I do like the idea of having chairs here, even if there's some people that prefer to sit down on a couch. How do you face? How do I get the chairs to face the right way? Oh, I'm all choppy. My computer doing too much at a time. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I was frozen there for a second. Photoshop is freezing. Photoshop is freezing. Am I frozen in the live stream? I don't know. Or is it my tablet? Okay, it could just be this. So, anyways, I want another chair. Actually, I need to mirror this. How come I can't mirror this thing nicely? I think it's something like this. Alright, although, no, I need to be kind of over here. Still too far away. Okay, the location isn't exactly important here. Coffee table, person, and then, but back here, this is also the bookshelf. So that's here. All right. Yeah, so I wonder if the idea could be, you know, where I set up a camera here, a camera here. So this camera can either face this way. Well, let's, you know, it can shoot this way on these people, or it could shoot this way on that person. And this camera can shoot that person, or it could shoot that person. So I could have markers for these cameras, or well, they just stay in the same spot because this would be a studio dedicated to just doing this. Yeah. But the other question would be where to set up like a tech table. So we basically have like the Rodecaster Pro or whatever it's called. Pro. That was bad. So that needs to sit somewhere. That's it, really, I guess, eh? Oh, no, you need to have some kind of... we'd also need a computer for the TV / you know, if you're going to like have a Zoom call, right, with somebody. So all that's going to need to be somewhere. And the question is, do we control that through a laptop or through a desktop? I don't know. I mean, you could just have a computer and then you could just work it with keyboard and mouse, like wireless. Or let's get another layer going here. Do the same thing. Okay, so here's the interview table. Interview table. And then yeah, do we need like I'm thinking of having like a dedicated, like this is the tech area. I don't know if that's needed. Because you can have a little table, a small table right here. You know, here's your recording device where all the wires are being fed and plugged in here. Right. We could do that. And then, do we need a tech table? If not, just a couple of nice, like what would be nice here? So we get some chairs for lounging. I think a fridge would be awesome. Like a bar fridge. So if somebody wanted a drink of something, that could be there. And the fridge could go. Yeah, I mean. You can have a fridge right here. To have a nice little ambiance in the place. I'd have to be quiet though. So I don't know if that's going to make sense. It needs to be quiet. I like having two options. But I have to remember, it's all about the content. Doesn't matter what your setup looks like. It's about the content and the people and the conversations that you're going to have. That's going to be the most important thing. My thinking here is to have a comfortable space where people are going to feel comfortable in having great conversations. And I'm thinking, so my thinking is if I have an interview table and if I have a TV here, can I live stream here? I don't think so, because I'm going to need other things for my live stream. So I don't think that's going to be on the table. But I could do interviews here. So this is, or interviews. I could do like the long form, the video content. I wonder if it could be a table. Okay, where's the camera going to go? So I'm thinking... So I'm also thinking about filming options. Okay, so obviously there's the podcast, but I also need like long form videos. And if this is the bookshelf, and that's always a nice background to have, I think. And if I'm sitting here, well, let me, here's the talent right here. Do I put a camera like on the table to film from this angle which gives the nice background and a nice backdrop. And if there's nice chairs here, you know, coffee table, whatever, is that a nice look? But the problem is setting up a camera here. If there's a tech table here, and here's the interview table, which is close to the wall, which is actually this wall right back here. That might not be the greatest because there's not going to be room. And the thing that I really want to keep in mind is like no setup time. I just need to be able to go in and then to create. That's the goal. That's the holy goal of this whole thing. For the most part, if I have to move a camera around or what have you, or put one camera from one tripod to the other, that's not a big deal. But in general, I don't want to have to spend 30 minutes setting up different camera angles, different shots. It's like I want to hit record and be ready to go, right? Just like going live. It's like I could just hit live and I'm ready to go right from working. Could go live and then it's done, right? So how can we do this? Right, because if the table is set up mostly with chairs on this side, we got chairs, chairs, chairs. And then to have a chair here on the end table, it depends on the type of table. It might be really weird, or it might not even be possible, depending on how the legs are on this table. But say it is possible and we could pull in a chair nicely, then we just have to make sure we have enough space here. But then maybe we put the tech table in the corner, right? So here's, you know, the Rodecaster with all the sliders or what have you. Maybe another computer, whatever. And then that might work. And then if the TV is here, then that makes it easy for me to have like a conference in here if need be. TV plus camera. Oh, this is getting messy fast. Is he still with me? Still following along? We just have to pull the table a little bit off the wall. Then the camera here. So, okay. So we also want to have a camera that picks up like a front camera. Not a front camera, but a like a 3 camera shot, right? So can I make this even bigger? Okay. So I'm looking for like 3 shot like production or 3 angles. So one is, you know, whatever, 30 degrees, 30 to 45 degrees, to, the talent, whatever. So that's 1 and 2. And then the third one is just your, you know, just your wide, shot of everyone. So what that looks like is interview 1 here sitting down. Interviewer 2 here. Why isn't it undoing? There we go. So we got camera. That's camera 2 recording person number 2. That's camera 1 recording camera number 1. And then we have camera 3. You know, whatever. I got these. I think I have these cameras a little bit too close here in my description, in my picture. But this is kind of how this goes, right? No camera sees each other, and these cameras see kind of everything. So that's the kind of setup that I'm looking to have. So the idea of what I was thinking, this might play better actually. Ooh, this might, okay. So the cameras will be all out in the open, right? Like here's the door, people walk in, you know, bookshelf here, a nice chair here, coffee table, fridge, and then a table here, large enough table, right? I mean, again, we're talking, this is 14 feet, right? So that's inches, 14 feet. So we don't have a lot of space. So if we have the tables here, they're coming in, you know, if this is like a, you know, 6-foot table, you're already down to only 8 feet left. And this is going to come out quite a bit. Like, if you have to have a camera here, and maybe camera behind or camera ahead, there's tripods all over the place, and you have like nowhere to walk. So instead, what if we have our table? Oh, but this gives us with the TV problem. But okay, I'm thinking. Camera 1, camera 2, out here away from everything. And then yeah, and then can we have, and if we have camera 3, oops, camera 3 over here, but we can also have a TV here, and this could just be like lower, so it's on the eye line, or could it be above? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. And then, yeah, person sits, you know, human here, oh, that person just looks evil. You get your 3 angles, and then you have all kinds of, then you have space here, so that when you are sitting here, you know, you can relax with something from the fridge or a snack or whatever the hell it is. And then, yeah, there's just this openness a little bit here. And then if I am going to have any kind of conference, with somebody, I can switch and just sit here. So I'm now over here, and then this camera 3 is going to be picking up, you know, kind of nice area behind here because this is where the bookshelf is going to be. So you have a really nice angle. So and we can shoot the different videos from here. And then these ones are already set up, and I could still get a good angle, like a side angle from these ones, from those cameras as well too. And if I could get a good lens here, maybe I can get like a 24-70 or something, so I could punch in if I need to, but then also punch out at 24 to see these guys. I think that might work. And then the tech table is just, I mean, it could be very low. I'm thinking like, you know, like an entertainment unit. So it could be low and it could just be down here. I mean, once you're recording, like that's it. You don't need to do anything. You don't need it to be there unless there's like a mix, like an engineer or something like that. And if that were the case, I could easily put something here, or maybe it's even on this table. Or like if we ever get to the point where we have somebody like actually engineering and mixing this thing like on the fly, then we probably gonna have an actual studio space. What am I thinking? Yeah, oh yeah. So we can change this one camera and face it this way. No, that's weird. That angle will throw people off. Like, yeah. Yeah, like when you're filming something or scene, you want to like put a line through, and generally all angles, you don't want it to like come at a different angle because it'll just look really weird. But I don't know if that will work for, or if that makes sense for. Yeah, no, it makes sense like this. If you have an angle like this and then this comes in the other way, yeah, it's going to look weird. So that's not going to work. Actually, can I just delete some of this stuff? So as far as it's gonna let me go. This guy. Right, so that will work. And if we ever, and if it's a podcast where we're going to be sitting here, then these can just move up. And this one can zoom. What do you think? And let me know what you think. I think this can work. Does it have everything I need? I think so. And like in terms of what I'm thinking about, having a conference call, I think I'm getting myself maybe a little bit more confused because that doesn't come up very often. Because I usually use my computer, which is where the live stream is going to be. I'm thinking more for shooting an actual, like a video. But then that'll be good because I'll be here on a table with the camera facing this way, pointing this way. Give a nice backdrop here with the bookshelf. Yeah, I think that's going to work. I'm going to run this by Andrea to see what she thinks about it. But I like it. Let's just save this. I want to save it on my computer. And let's save it. Well, for me. Where should I save this? I don't know. Let's save it right here. So let's say podcast room layout. Okay. So let's fix this up here. So, right. So here's the plan. Here's the plan. All right, 1. Remove office desk from den. So 4-person table setup with cameras on the right wall. And then we'll have 4-person table so and then 3 with cameras on the right wall, and that's going to be a 3-camera setup. At least 2, maybe. I'll aim for 3, but at least 2 for sure. And then we're going to have secondary shooting area with 2 seats and a coffee table in the middle for more casual conversations. Yeah, and then I stocked like a bar fridge with a glass door so you can see in. Just think of, like water, whatever, just drinks. Yeah. So that's the plan. If that's the plan, then what do we need? So, my goodness, we are going to need... Where should I create this list? Maybe I should create it as like a subtask of items. So we'll need 2 comfy like armchairs, 1 coffee table, 1 main podcast table. I gotta get this thing out of the way here. And we'll need 1 TV. Flat screen. Well, they're all flat screen now. 1 TV. We're gonna see if we can go do some yard sailing. See if we can find any good stuff. Like no need for no fancy OLED TV or anything like that. No need for fancy, super expensive chairs. Although, well, we'll see. We'll see what we find. And we'll see what our budget is going to need to be. So 2 comfy chairs, coffee table, main podcast. I'm going to need 1 bookshelf to match existing shelving. We're going to need like microphones, cables, like a small, I know, like 1, what's it called? Like entertainment, like unit. That's for the Rodecaster. And just go call it the tech table. What's the difference between this? Create a list of furniture, AV, and accessories required. Create a wish list of items along with their price. It's kind of the same task here. So that's weird. Oh my, this timetable is pretty short. Okay. So an entertainment unit. We'll probably need... I think I'll need one more. At least one. 7B. That's this microphone, so I just need a pair. And so we might need to get a new computer to run TV. Maybe I could use the computer that I have now, an old one, and I just need or wireless keyboard and mouse to operate. I'll say old computer. Depends on what we want in terms. Oh, right. We want the TV in there and the computer because we might have to interview people live, right? Through Zoom or what have you. So we're going to have to find a nice table that we can sit on both sides. The whole armchairs and coffee table, all that stuff, that doesn't need to be done right away. So that could wait. We gotta, what's my budget? Let's find out what our budget is. Hang on, let me bring up, let me bring up some finance stuff here. Where should I go? Let's go into QuickBooks. Stupid bank stuff. Oh, that's annoying. Right. Well, I can show this real quick. So my bank's not connecting to QuickBooks, but that's a whole nother issue. That's a QuickBooks problem, which is a pain in my behind. Okay, so here's our budget. So we have an innovation account. We have about 2,800. And there's a few payments that are coming through, and we're going to have another. What's 5% of $17,000? I think, or is it 20? What's 5% of 20,000? It's like 1,000, right? So we might have 4,000. Let's say $3,500. That would be that's our innovation budget. So we'd have $3,500 to spend on this, which is a lot, but also maybe not a lot, considering all the things. Does this cost $3,500? I mean, here's $600. I guess taxes, we get taxes back as tax credits. So I mean, this is $550. Say a TV is another $400. bucks. So you're already looking at 1,000 for just the TV stuff. A good table, maybe that's going to be another 1,000. 2 chairs, that's already 3,000. Yeah, that'll go fast. That'll go fast. We'll have to see what we can do in order to stretch our dollars. So maybe we'll do some shopping. We'll do some online window shopping tomorrow. Anyway, so we've decided this. So that's done. So that's out of the way. So it's nice to complete that task. And I only want to see my incomplete tasks. I hate seeing completed tasks. And I am going to want this to be default. Okay. So yeah, we're going to have to start inviting people. But I think I want to go over and make sure that the theme is right. I want to start running the business. Broken on the day to day. This was talking about format, how to set up. Right, that's kind of where we are. Step 1, step 2. Okay. Oh, and it's already, what day is today? Today's Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. You know what we'll do? We'll try to do some shopping tomorrow online, or price shopping. We'll do some price shopping, and then we'll see. We'll see how much money it is that we're spending and where we are, and to see if that's something that we're going to want to do. If we're going to want to spend all this money on this, maybe we can get away with not spending this much money, going to look on Kijiji, eBay, I don't know, some other places, to spend cheaply. That's one thing that I'm not the best at. I'm not the best at spending cheaply when I can, in terms of finding like used gear. Like I know, what's that saying? You get what you pay for. I'm not a firm believer, but especially with technology, for a lot of the times, you buy that cheap thing, it's just going to break in a year or whatever. So you might as well buy the good thing, because you buy it once and then you're done. It's becoming increasingly more difficult now, because I find a lot of brands make their stuff with kind of shitty quality. So it's tough to know whether you're paying for quality or you're just paying for the name. So there's due diligence that goes in with that. But generally speaking, $100 table versus a $500 table. The $500 table is probably going to be a lot sturdier, maybe made out of like real wood or whatever. Like I want something that's going to last like a lifetime. So, and maybe I don't have the budget for that. Maybe that's a table that'll last a lifetime. It's like those custom made, river tables that are like 10 grand or something ridiculous like that. Yeah. So anyways, we'll do some shopping tomorrow. I think that'll be good. And I'll leave it here. So thanks for watching. Again, if you're in the area, stay safe out there. Stay out of the fire zone. Yeah. And thanks for joining in. So glad to be back. Feels really good to be back here. I miss doing these streams. So we're going to keep going. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.